From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Tuesday, October 7th. It is rainy outside. We have not had rain like this in a while. Expect it to be hit or miss. Could be kind of that misty, spurting type of rain throughout the day. We will be in the mid-70s, slightly breezy, and mostly overcast if it's not raining. Fox Sports broadcaster Mark Sanchez is now facing a felony charge for a fight that led to his own stabbing downtown over the weekend. News 8's Colin Bailey was at a news conference yesterday with the prosecutor and the police chief and tells us the man police say Sanchez attacked is now suing as well.
The victim filed suit against the former NFL quarterback as well as his employer, Fox Corporation. News 8 is not using the name of the man who filed the lawsuit yesterday afternoon in Marion Superior Court. The lawsuit outlines the fight between the man who was at work at the time driving a delivery truck and the broadcaster who was in town to call the Colts-Raiders game on Sunday. The man says in the suit that Sanchez appeared intoxicated, initiated the confrontation, which resulted in the victim suffering significant injuries. The lawsuit also says Sanchez's bosses at Fox were negligent in hiring him and should have known about what the lawsuit calls his, quote, unfitness as an employee, propensity for drinking and or harmful conduct. Before we got the word about the lawsuit, IMPD Chief Chris Bailey and Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears spoke to reporters about the case. The chief says that type of behavior will not be tolerated.
I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care where you live. If you come into our city, commit violence, we will use all the tools at our disposal to hold you accountable.
Online court records show Sanchez posted bond of $300. He was set to appear in court today for an initial hearing, but Sanchez waived that hearing through his attorney. Now Sanchez is scheduled to appear in court for a pretrial conference that is set for November 4th. I'm Colin Bailey for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
The City-County Council has given final approval to the local government's $1.7 billion budget for next year. The final vote was 17-8, with 2 Democrats joining all of the council's Republicans in opposing the budget. Aside from the police and fire departments, Mayor Joe Hogsett asked city offices to cut spending by 4%. That's designed to make up for a projected loss of revenue from property tax cuts that Governor Mike Braun and Republicans in the legislature pushed for. The mayor released a statement after the vote. He says, in part, with new financial pressure in the year ahead, the 2026 budget process was especially challenging. It's natural for difficult decisions to generate disagreement, but leadership sometimes means making hard calls. In Kokomo, students are going back to class this morning after a crash involving a school bus and a pickup truck that left a construction worker dead. Investigators are trying to figure out what caused the wreck at around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. It was at State Road 22 and Howard County 400 East. State police say the pickup truck hit the bus, then the bus hit the worker. 31-year-old Aaron Esperanza died at the scene. The Northwestern School Corporation says students were on the bus, but they are all okay. The Morgan County Commission has approved rezoning land near Monrovia to expand the footprint for a proposed data center. The new vote adds 158 acres to the project near State Road 42 and North Antioch Road. The County Commission had already rezoned 390 acres for the data center in February. Several people who live in the area criticized the plan, saying their concerns about its impact on the local government are being ignored.
Please vote no on this, or vote for a continuance until we can figure out all the data and all the details of all these questions that I have right here that so far have not been answered because of the NDAs that everybody's hiding behind.
The County Commission has not named the company behind the data center yet. Pacers are back in action tonight. The team is on the road in Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves in their first preseason game. This is also the first game since the team's historic run last season and Tyrese Halliburton's injury. Pacers will likely be without the star guard all season, but head coach Rick Carlisle says the momentum from the NBA Finals is moving the team forward.
We wanted to make the Pacers relevant again, with how we played, how we competed, all those kinds of things. Player empowerment, a style that, our fans could relate to, and then Indiana values, hard, family-oriented, values.
Tip-off for tonight's game in Minneapolis is at 8 o'clock. Tough news for Colts fans this morning. Kicker Spencer Schrader will miss the rest of the season. The Westfield native suffered a knee injury during Sunday's win over the Raiders. Colts say Schrader tore 2 ligaments in his right knee, the ACL and the MCL. Raiders player hit Schrader's leg during a second quarter extra point attempt. The Colts did not try an extra point or a field goal the rest of the game. Schrader posted on Instagram saying, "Sometimes the path forward looks different than we planned, but the mission stays the same." Yesterday, the Colts head coach talked about what's next for the kicking game.
It's going to be very difficult to replace a guy like that. And when you do have a great kicker, definitely ease your mind. He was lights out for us. Obviously, he was, AFC Special Teams Player of the Month for the NFL. So just a tremendous talent. So just in a very unfortunate situation.
Like he said, Schrader had been off to a great start. He was also tied for the league lead with 13 field goals. Let's get to your business headlines now. Jane King starts with new tariffs.
Well, these are new tariffs on medium and heavy-duty truck imports, and they will kick in on November 1st. That's according to a social media post from President Trump. Now, the 25% tariffs were announced in late September. They were initially slated to start at the beginning of October, but according to Bloomberg, these tariffs have sparked an intense lobbying campaign by the big 3 automakers, with Stellantis in particular, the parent company of Chrysler, was really concerned about the impact on its Mexican-made medium-duty Ram pickup trucks. Well, the Supreme Court denied Google's bid to pause App Store changes. The changes are set to take effect October 22nd, so it will allow app developers to offer links to cheaper payment options and steer Google users outside their apps without the fees. Google says the changes will significantly harm user safety and undermine innovation for Android. Now, if you're looking to start your holiday shopping early, and more than a third of shoppers say they are this year, according to Retail Me Not, you may want to take a look at Amazon's Prime Days. The 2-day sales event begins today. Some sales actually started yesterday. There were some discounts on electronics and some beauty items. While Prime Big Deal Days is exclusive to Prime members, there are some ways to get a discount or a trial membership so you can still get access to the sales. If you're new to Amazon Prime, you can get a 30-day free trial. You do have to add a credit card, but you can cancel it before you're charged that fee. And the box office had a sizzling summer that's leading to the best year for movies since the pandemic. Heading into the final stretch of the year, the domestic box office has brought in $6.5 billion in ticket sales. That's up from $6.3 billion a year ago, according to ComScore. And the full-year record that the box office is looking to surpass is $9 billion. Fueling that haul, they believe, will be the upcoming releases of Wicked for Good, Zootopia 2, and Avatar: Fire and Ash. New record closes for the S&P 500 and NASDAQ yesterday. Dow was down slightly. This morning, we're a little bit higher. Pretty quiet, though, actually. Live from the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King. Back to you.
As the government shutdown enters its 7th day, you may start to notice its impact at the airport. Amy Kiley reports on flights.
This is having great impact, great concern, great stress.
The FAA says it's been delaying flights due to air traffic controller shortages. The Transportation Secretary blames the government shutdown. He says many controllers are calling out sick since they are no longer getting paid.
I want to see your flight not be delayed. I don't want you canceled, but our priorities are safety.
An FAA operations plan says at least a dozen air traffic control facilities braced for shortages last night. The agency reports initial delays in Denver, Newark, and Burbank. Officials say the Burbank tower outright closed, forcing pilots to coordinate with each other.
The very same thing ended the 35-day government shutdown back in 2019, and controllers calling out sick led to ground stops and delays at some of the country's busiest airports. And when that happened, lawmakers reached a deal pretty quickly.
This time around, a deal doesn't appear to be in sight.
There's nothing to negotiate, just reopen the government.
Republicans say they won't negotiate with Democrats until after the government reopens. Democrats say that order of events doesn't work. They want to address health care costs in the very funding bill that would end the shutdown.
Both House and Senate Democrats are clear. We'll sit down anytime, any place with anyone from your administration, including the president, to get a resolution here.
I'm Amy Kiley for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
A judge has scheduled a hearing for Thursday in a lawsuit challenging President Trump's order to send National Guard troops to Chicago. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson filed the lawsuit saying the deployment is unlawful. Trump says the troops are needed to quell what he calls violent riots and lawlessness. City officials counter that and say crime has fallen dramatically. The state governor is accusing the president of intentionally provoking people.
Many people shot. Like 30, 40, 50 people shot. Didn't die, but they've been shot. It's like a war zone. It's probably worse than almost any city in the world.
The Trump administration is following a playbook. Cause chaos, create fear and confusion, make it seem like peaceful protesters are a mob by firing gas pellets and tear gas canisters at them.
The judge hearing the case denied the governor's initial request to block troops from being deployed to Chicago. In Israel, thousands of people are gathered today to mark 2 years since Hamas's terror attack that killed 1,200 people. Families of the victims and hostages have organized the main memorial. It is separate from an official ceremony the Israeli government is planning for next week. The split shows the deep divisions over Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's attacks on Gaza. So far, more than 67,000 Palestinians have been killed in the war. The memorial comes as leaders from Israel and Hamas are working to finalize a deal to end the fighting. Back here in Indiana, it's spooky season at the Children's Museum. 100 witches took over the canal yesterday to celebrate the museum's 100th birthday and its longest-running haunted house in the country. The Witches on the Water brewed opening week of the Bewitched Museum. The museum's guild of witches floated in kayaks, cackled, and cast spells along a decorated canal. Organizers say this is the 61st year of the haunted house, making it the oldest continued running haunted house in America. It officially opens for the season on Friday. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and WishTV.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at WishTV.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.